Here now.
You do your Facebook content.
I will. What?
Oh, we're live on Instagram. Hey. Hey guys. Just waiting to set up the Facebook Live real quick.
Why won't it let me click it? Oh. No wonder.
Okay. Okay, we're live on both. Hi. Okay. Hi, it's Ellie and Abby here for a happy half hour of the day. Thursday.
Happy Thursday, everyone.
Happy second day of spring. It started yesterday and I can feel it. I feel the vibe changing.
Yeah.
People are wearing more bright colors.
Except for us today.
Yeah, except
We didn't think about that.
we're in neutrals today. But I don't know if you guys saw the moon last night, but it's called a worm moon.
It's
I'll explain it a
crazy.
little bit, but it was so bright. It literally woke me up this morning. But it's
And the
called
butterflies. Sorry,
Yeah.
no, finish about
No,
the moon.
it's called the worm moon, and I thought that was funny. I heard about it on the radio this morning on my way to the gym, and they said that it's because all the earthworms come out in the first full moon of the springtime, which who knows if that's true or not, but if you see a worm out on the ground, you
This
know
time.
why.
Spring. Yeah, over the weekend, there were butterflies everywhere out on the golf course. It was so cool.
Yeah, you were in Austin.
Yeah.
Lucky you.
Pretty little yellow butterflies following the golf cart around. So
And I heard last week too, my family was telling me that there was like a butterfly invasion in California. So a bunch of monarchs like everywhere, which
That's
is
cool.
so cool because butterflies are like the symbol of beauty, and I
Yeah.
feel like a lot of people have like that reminds them of loved ones, you know, that have passed on. And
for me, it does for sure. A little neon yellow, bright yellow butterfly. I always think is my grandpa with me, and I was golfing and there were butterflies all around, and then this bright yellow butterfly, like right before I hit my tee shot, my drive, it landed right on my golf ball, and I was like, whoa, that's so weird. And so
Grandpa.
and then we got back in the cart and it was like right next to the cart the whole way. It was really cool. So
That's awesome. I love those stories. I feel like that happens to a lot of people. You know, you find some piece of nature kind of reminds
Mhm.
you of your past loved
for
ones.
sure, everyone's is something different. but-
Yeah. Well, let's get into some positive news of the day.
Yes, let's start this Thursday off right.
You want to go
Yeah,
first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
I'll start with my smaller one because, you know, we look for positive news stories online and on Facebook or wherever you see it. But I thought I would share one about that happened to me yesterday, which I think is really relatable. But and it was something so small, but I was in the Starbucks drive-thru and someone bought my coffee in front of me and
That's
drove off.
awesome.
And I always think that little thing, you're just like, wow, someone just randomly
thinking.
thought in the morning to buy my coffee for me, and it made me want to do it. So
Have you done it yet?
I didn't do it
Oh,
today.
you bought my coffee.
I bought
today.
your coffee today.
So
yeah.
she did do it.
I guess so. But it makes you want to pass it along. So I know that's a small positive story, but
Every little thing counts.
Yeah.
Every little act of kindness that we can
especially
do.
because no one knows what you're going through in the mornings.
Yeah.
So, you know,
It can be a rough morning.
Yeah.
Rough start.
rough start, and then you're waiting for your coffee and someone buys it for you. So that was my little positive news
Well,
story.
That's awesome. So last time I told you guys that I'm kind of into nutrition. Well, I decided to find another article, a positive
nutrition.
article on nutrition. So I'm just like planting little seeds for you guys, so you can take it or leave it. But hey, might as well be in the know about it. So I saw an article that seniors who eat mushrooms may be less likely to develop mild cognitive impairment. So I thought this was really interesting because
Interesting.
mild cognitive impairment is the stage between like when you are aging. Normally your memory and stuff kind of fades a little bit, but it's the stage between having that normal aging decline versus like having a serious decline that leads to dementia or Alzheimer's. So mushrooms. Yeah, so the facts about it is Yang Lo Lin Medical School in the University of Singapore, they found that if seniors eat 2 or more standard portions of mushrooms every week, it reduces their experience of mental decline by as much as 50%, which is huge. Like 50%.
That's a big number.
It's like, yeah, crazy. So they did a 6-year study. There were 600 Chinese seniors in the study, and they were all 60 plus years old. So I thought it was awesome. And then a little bit more like in depth, just because I'm kind of a nerd sometimes. The compound that they're interested in is called, it's ET, it's called ergothioneine, and it's this like unique antioxidant, anti-inflammatory. So antioxidants are great. They like reduce any like free radicals, take out the stress in your body, and then anti-inflammatory everyone needs. You know, we all get inflamed from all sorts of stuff. So that's my little positive nutritional tip for you guys this morning.
I will eat.
So eat mushrooms.
I will eat mushrooms if I don't know it's in my meal.
Okay, I can help you with
Like
that.
if someone tells me that it has mushrooms in it, I'm out. But
a lot of people feel that way.
Yeah.
It's like fungus or whatever, but
it doesn't really have a taste though. So like if it's
you can dress it up.
yeah.
You
So
can
that's my
definitely-
thing with mushrooms. I'll eat them if I don't know it's in my meal.
All right, well.
Okay, so my second positive news story I love. I am really into sports, so I saw this multiple times on many platforms, and I was like, this is my positive news story. But there was the goalie for the Montreal Canadiens, Carey Price. I don't know if you guys saw this, but oh my gosh, it melts my heart. You have to go Google the video later. But this little boy, Anderson, his mom had just passed away from cancer, and her dying wish was to find some way to get her son, Anderson, to meet his idol, Carey Price, the goalie for the Canadiens. And unfortunately, she passed away before it happened. But through so many kind friends, they found a way to make it happen. And he got to meet Carey Price, and he's like at the, I guess it was the like morning skate, so it was a practice, and he was on the side, and you see Carey Price come up, and the kid just starts bawling, crying, and he kind of looks at him and signs a stick and signs a puck, gives him a jersey, and then he walks over the side and just embraces him in this hug for, I'm not kidding, maybe a minute. Just hugging.
Wait, and he didn't know or did
No, he didn't know. Hugging this little boy, like so hard. He just took his helmet off and walked over and just goes, come here. And just gave this little boy and embraced him and hugged him so hard. And sometimes that's all you need is just like a hug.
But also to come from like your idol that your mom wanted you to like meet, and it's just like the whole thing.
You can get a stick, you can get a puck, you can get a jersey, but like that hug probably meant more to him than any of
that will fuel him for years to come.
For sure.
Like he'll be like inspired by that moment.
And he's crying. Y'all have to Google the video.
Maybe we'll put a link to it on our Instagram later.
You'll have to watch it. It's truly
cool.
Incredible. I love stories like that because these athletes, they don't have to take the time to do that, you know?
No, and a lot of them are, just trying to get in the zone or whatever.
Exactly.
So, all right, well, my second positive news story of the day, I just love this because I think this is just the kindest gesture ever. So, Charlene and Ron Giles, they were driving from Edinburgh to Cambridge because Ron Giles' mom was on her deathbed. She was passing away and they needed to make the trip out to be able to see her before she died. Her hospice nurse said that she wasn't doing well, so they're like, we gotta make this drive. It's a long drive, and on their way, they had a minor little car crash and their wheel was like not working and they couldn't get the car to start back up, and basically parked on the side of the road, middle of nowhere, totally anxious, like don't have a lot of time. He really wants to see his mom. Both of them are just totally distraught. They call the insurance company and the insurance company says no one's going to be able to come out there for 3 hours, and even then you'll only be taken to a train station. So
oh my gosh.
They're just like, what do we do? Like, I'm going to miss, the time that I need with my mom before she passes. And this guy was coming home from work. He's a 40-year-old man. His name was Dean Moore. And he saw them on the side of the road, kind of distraught and, you know, anxious, and pulled over and just asked if everything was okay. And immediately, when they started telling the story, he was, first of all, frustrated with the fact that the insurance couldn't help, but then second of all, he just felt this huge sense of empathy and offered to drive them 200 miles to get to Ron's mom's home. 200 miles, that's 3.5-hour
Crazy.
drive. So this guy drives them all the way there. They get there at midnight, and Ron's mom ended up passing that next morning, early in the morning.
I had chills
Like,
all over. That's
This guy had no idea who these people were, just felt bad for them, and went out of his way, 3.5 hours that way, 3.5 back, so 7-hour drive. He had work the next morning.
again something he did not have to do.
No, and then when they were trying to do press on it, he's like, you know, this doesn't need to be like a big fuss for me. You know, I have nothing to fuss about. They are the ones going through this horrible, hard time, and he just wanted to do it out of the kindness of his heart. And
I love that.
I mean, like, talk about hero of the day.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Have you had a moment like that?
I personally, I haven't been in the moment where I've been like saved from someone
Yeah.
on the side of the road, but I've been in the car when we've stopped and kind of helped someone out.
Yeah.
But not to this level.
That's a whole nother level.
This
Yeah.
is like next level stuff.
Yeah.
I mean,
Shout out to what's his name?
Dean Moore,
Dean Moore. Shout out.
hero.
Hero.
Have you had a moment like that?
Not that intense, but I did. I will say, I was driving to Houston from Austin, like my first kind of road trip, I guess, alone after I got my license. And
How old were you? 18?
17 maybe? Yeah, I can't remember, but I was
Okay.
going up for a meeting for like an internship that summer, and my car broke down in the Whataburger parking lot. Like, it was a last minute thing. I was like, you know what, I gotta go to the bathroom, I'm gonna run in Whataburger, maybe grab a soda. And I was already like kind of scared to stop by myself anyway, and I was just like, I'm just gonna do it because I'm gonna be stuck in traffic. Of course, I come back out and my car doesn't start. And so I walked inside so frantic, and I was asking the guy at the counter, I was like, do you have jumper cables? I don't know what to do. And this man that was ordering came out and helped me restart my car. So
He was your little hero.
he
of
was
the
my
day.
little hero. I was like, can I buy your food? And he was like, no, just go on.
I love that.
But I would've missed
People
my
are just
meeting too.
nice.
So many nice people out there. But
Wave of kindness. Let's go.
so we are doing wave of kindness. Did you hear that? We are doing a hero of the day too. So
Yes.
with our saint of the day and hero of the day, we'll take one from one of our stories. So
Yeah. So Dean Moore,
Dean Moore
hero
is
of
the
the
hero of the
day.
day.
And if you guys have a hero of your day, send them a little text appreciation.
Mhm.
I mean, like we said, that little act of kindness, it might be their boost of the day.
You don't know what it does for them.
Yeah, so now on another scale, hero of the day, big scale, saint of the day.
Yes.
Saint Enda is the saint of the day, and he was noted for his military feats before he became a monk. So he was super all about the army military. On the path to getting married, his fiance, he came home one day and she was dead, and his sister actually converted him, and he was converted so much that he became a monk, which is like super serious,
Yeah.
harsh life, you know, like in silence a lot. So he became this amazing monk, built churches all over Ireland and everything, and then now he's known as the founder of monasticism, which is like the act of like living alone and religious vows, fixed order, you know, silence, that harsh, disciplined life. And the prayer that we can say to him is, pray for us that we may remain humble in our ways toward others. And I love that because it goes totally along with everything we're talking about. Just remain humble. Like this guy that helped the person on the
He didn't want the attention.
He didn't want the attention. He didn't want the press. He was just like, you know, I just feel bad for these people.
Mhm.
So that's Saint Enda.
Shout out Satan. We have so many shout outs
I
today.
know. We're gonna keep on shouting people
Yes.
out.
So along with that, we can talk about our product that we want to feature today too, if we
Yeah,
want to do that.
because that's got some saint involvement.
And I'm wearing it.
She wears it every day, by the way, you
I
guys.
wear it every day, and it does have a story behind it. But again, I just needed that extra protection, and I was gifted this.
And what is it called? Armor of
Armor of Faith. And one side has Saint Christopher, and one side is Archangel Michael, and they're both just known for their powerful protection. So
You literally are
double
wearing armor.
protected. Yes, it's armor, and I really do. I wear it every day, and even like I've caught myself on the airplane. She was with me, and I was like, I don't know if you noticed, but I just held on to it.
She did. Like, she gets some airplane anxiety, like a lot of us do, you know?
Mhm.
But she was literally sitting there before we're taking off, and she's like holding onto the metal, and I was like,
And I'd just been gifted it, so I already thought it was amazing. But then I was like, maybe this will just, holding onto it is just that simple reminder that you're so protected. And so,
and it gives you something tangible to touch, you know? Like, we need that. We need that little touch point that allows us to like kind of center ourselves and remind ourselves and calm ourselves down. It's like a physiological response.
Yeah.
You know? Like, your nerves calm when you can touch something.
and I love how this is a little bit longer, so if you do want to touch it, you're not like at your neck. You just like, you can simply just hold on to it. And it goes with everything.
It does, and it's like double duty. It's just awesome.
Yes.
So the Armor of Faith, gotta check it out. We'll have a link on the YouTube, and then also we'll feature it on our Instagram page too.
Yes, I love it so much. So that's a product. Yay, and it kind of goes along with our saint of the day too. So
Yeah,
it all just comes together.
totally.
Let's do on this day.
On this day.
Yeah.
All right.
I love this one.
Okay, wait. We need to play it though.
Oh, okay.
Let's hold on.
This
I
is
gotta
very
get-
important.
You do the other one
Okay.
first.
So on this day in 1982, the movie Annie, directed by John Huston, premiered. What a classic.
So
And then our other one,
Annie, I mean, you know,
yeah, everyone
knows Annie. That's awesome. Like, childhood memories,
Mhm.
going to the theater, watching that and play, and
Oh,
then
yeah.
also on the TV, you know. Annie's awesome. But then this one's like our favorite because this is like our generation.
Yes.
So in the year 2000, what happened?
Are y'all ready for this? NSYNC released their fourth studio album, No Strings Attached. And everyone knows that one.
So you need to jam out to this album today in
Like-
honor of NSYNC.
In your car, be jamming to this. And it won Billboard Album of the Year.
All right,
Such a
I just
winner.
had to play that for you guys for a second.
So
Oh, sorry.
I remember.
Oh, sorry guys.
I remember when I was
Audio.
younger. I had a VCR tape of this. Like, they had a behind the scenes, whatever, of that album,
Mhm.
and it was a VCR tape, half of Britney Spears, half of NSYNC.
That's
Like, the
one.
cover
I think I had
of
that
the
too.
VCR was double. Oh gosh, what memes.
Good stuff.
And before we do the reflection, let's end on the bracelet stories.
Yeah.
Because we always love sharing the bracelet stories.
And we still want you guys to send in your stories all the time whenever you feel, you know, empowered,
Please do.
inspired. Definitely
Please do.
send it in. Do you want to read yours first?
Yeah.
Or share yours first, I guess.
Yeah, so Allie
it's
emailed.
kind of a testimony. It's
Yes.
awesome.
Allie emailed in and said, every day I spritz a little of my mother's Eternity perfume, she died 15 years ago, on my wrist with the two hearts and look at the message of love that my bracelet brings to me and others. Thank you so much.
So she then went on to explain, like, and say she wore this bracelet and it would remind her of her mom all the time, just because it's like the love bracelet. And the coolest part about it is that this perfume is her mom's same perfume, the same perfume brand that her mom uses, and she sprays it like on her wrist and on her neck, whatever, you know, like we normally do. But every time she does in the morning, she looks down and sees her bracelet, and it's like a double reminder of her mom being with her, which I
It's
love
so
that.
cool how everyone can do different things, but
Yeah.
you don't think about, oh, just a spritz of perfume, then you look down and not only is your mom with you from the perfume,
I
but
mean-
you're just reminded by the wrist, by your
Yeah.
bracelet.
They catch my eye all the time in different ways, like when I'm driving, my hand on the steering wheel, I'll like
Same.
see it all of a sudden, I'm like, ooh, that's really
Yeah.
cool, and then I'll think about what it means, you know. But I love
So
that
thank
story.
you, Allie, for writing in. We really appreciate it, and don't forget to send us your stories if you've been
Yeah.
impacted by a bracelet.
And then I have one, it's a little bit long. I might be looking down a little bit to read it because it's very impactful, but Amy, the founder of the company, my mom also, she was in Ohio speaking to some reps and boutique owners. She was doing a big presentation at this like fireside lodge in a little boutique hotel there, and she noticed like a bunch of people start coming into the room, and out of the corner of her eye, she saw a man in the very back, and he had his earphones in with his laptop, kind of quiet, you know, and she could tell like people are coming in, it's about to get loud. This guy was totally quiet on his own. So she went up to him to warn him, you know, it might get a little bit loud. I'm about to present to a bunch of people about, you know, my brand, and I just wanted to let you know so that if you were like needing some quiet, you could, you know, leave or do whatever you need to do. And he looks at her and he says, well, what are you going to present on? Like, what is your brand? And she goes, it's my Saint My Hero. It's an inspirational jewelry line. And she looked down at her wrist and she goes, you know what, let me just share this with you. So she looked down, and one of the pieces that she had on was a Serenity, which is a unisex bracelet. So she reached out and gave it to him. And when she was giving it to him, she's like, this is what we're all about. You know, we share these bracelets, they're woven with prayer. But she said a prayer that she never usually says. And she always says something, you know, when she puts it on you. And, you know, we're all encouraged to do that too. But she said these words: God loves you, heaven is real, and you are never alone. And immediately in that moment, the guy looked up at her and had tears in his eyes. And he was a, you know, older grown man. And he said, you know what, 5 years ago, my son suddenly passed away, and every year on this day, I spend with my wife in church, because this is his anniversary of his death. And this is the first year in 5 years that I can't be with my wife in church. So I came out here to get some quiet and to kind of pray. And when I was praying to God, I asked him to just give me a sign that he's with me, that heaven's real, and that I'm going to see my son again. And you just answered that. Like, she answered literally those 3 things verbatim. So they kind of closed up their conversation. You know, he was very moved, she was very moved. But she had this speech that she had to go do. And he was saying, by the way, the only reason he wasn't with his wife in church was because he was there on a business conference and he had to present in like an hour. So it's just like this whole thing. And then she goes, you know, off and says, you know, I'm so sorry. You know, like, here's, hopefully this bracelet can bring you some peace. And she's getting ready herself to present to all these reps and boutique owners. And her whole speech, you know, she was kind of just trying to not let the emotions get too high because of what had just happened to her. But she was talking about how we are this vessel for God, and to have the courage to share a bracelet and represent that truth, and to share love, and just to be that vessel to, you know, allow God to work through you. And so she knew she couldn't tell the story because it was too fresh and personal. And she also noticed that the guy was still standing in the back of the room. He never left.
Wow.
So she couldn't tell the story, but kept on going about how we're the vessel for Christ. And when it was time to take questions, a boutique owner asked her, are these bracelets blessed? And, you know, she went on to say, they're hand woven with love and prayer. They're infused with the blessings, you know, that we're all together in this big community of faith. And the man in the very back of the room raised his hand and said, can I speak for a second? And he looks at the boutique owner and everybody else in the room, and he goes, I'm here to tell you that these bracelets are especially blessed because of what just happened to me. A person that I don't know, and she doesn't know me. She didn't know the prayer I was asking for. She didn't know that 5 years ago today my son passed away. And I'm normally spending this day with my wife in church, and she didn't know any of this. Yet she came up to me and gave me this bracelet, and it was like God sent her as an answer to my prayers. So, I mean, how impactful, like,
oh my God.
the whole story just like hits you, you know? Like,
I'm
that's
honestly
how,
speechless.
that's how I felt.
Because we hear these all the time, but I mean,
And because it's my mom, I was able to get a ton of details from the story, but it's just like insane.
she had no idea.
But just having the courage to go up to someone and just allow, you know, yourself to share love and to give that bracelet off of your wrist and to experience how that might change someone else, you know, like how that might change
He'll
your
always remember that, and
Yeah.
she will always remember that
And,
moment.
like, that moment was so important to him. For the last 5 years, he's been with his wife in church, and he was just longing for something, and it came right in that moment. And that is God. Like, that is God for you.
That is God.
There's nothing else to say
Amy,
about
wow.
that.
Amy, wow, that's.
Yeah. Wow.
I really don't have words for that, but that's a really great story.
Let's just move into the reflection then.
Can we like reflect on that for a
Yeah,
minute?
let's just pause on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just a reminder that you can just take one off your wrist
And to be open, like God can work through you to help others, and to feel that, and when you feel that tug, to act on it, not just allow it to hit you and say, you know, maybe next time. Like when you feel it, act on it, do it. Because
as Amy said
more
in that
often than
video,
not.
take the experiment of faith.
Yes.
I love when she says that.
Take the experiment of faith.
Yeah, because we don't know how it's truly going to affect someone. So,
Yeah.
wow, what an incredible story.
Yeah.
I guess we can read the
Yeah.
reflection today.
This is the Lenten reflection of the day. So we're going to read a little passage and then leave you with a question to think about.
So this is Luke 16:19 through 31. Jesus said to the Pharisees, "There was a rich man who dressed in purple garments and fine linen and dined sumptuously each day. And lying at his door was a poor man named Lazarus, covered with sores, who would gladly have eaten his fill of scraps that fell from the rich man's table. Dogs even used to come and lick his sores. When the poor man died, he was carried away by angels to the bosom of Abraham. The rich man also died and was buried. And from the nether world, where he was in torment, he raised his eyes and saw Abraham far off, and Lazarus at his side. And he cried out, 'Father Abraham, have pity on me. Send Lazarus to dip the tip of his finger in water and cool my tongue, for I am suffering torment in these flames.' Abraham replied, 'My child, remember that you received what was good during your lifetime, while Lazarus likewise received what was bad. But now he is comforted here, whereas you are tormented. Moreover, between us and you, a great chasm is established to prevent anyone from crossing who might wish to go from our side to yours, or from your side to ours.' He said, 'Then I beg you, Father, send him to my father's house, for I have 5 brothers, so that he may warn them, unless they too come to this place of torment.' But Abraham replied, 'They have Moses and the prophets, let them listen to them.' He said, 'Oh no, Father Abraham, but if someone from the dead goes to them, they will repent.' Then Abraham said, 'If they will not listen to Moses and the prophets, neither will they be persuaded if someone should rise from the dead.'" I love that story. I love that passage.
Yeah, so that guy during his life, I mean, he lived a lavish life and then ends up in hell being tormented, while Lazarus had this rough life and ends up in heaven being comforted.
And then all of a sudden, once
He wants
warnings out there saying,
warnings to his brother from the dead, or to his brothers
Yeah.
from the dead, so that they can be saved. But you know, then
you have to act on your own.
yeah, Abraham says they have to listen to the prophets that are alive right now and make the most of their life right now.
And if they choose not to listen, then
That's on them.
that's on them.
That's quite the story. And the reflection question for today is, think about your morals and how you treat others in this life. Are you living for the common good? So in this life, are you living for the common good? Are you doing what is right and just? And not to say that it's not okay to mess up,
Because we all do.
we all sin, we all do, but just don't let that temptation and those pleasures take over, you know? Just allow the light to creep back in and to be set back on your path, and always remember your moral compass, and not to let it just get too big that it gets out of hand. And you only have one life. You have one life on this earth.
You don't want to regret anything.
Yeah, and not even that, it's just, I mean, beyond regret, it's just living your best life, this life, so that when you move on and you're up in heaven or wherever you are trying to get there, you can look back and say, you know what, God gave me this beautiful earth, this beautiful life, and I made the most of it. I did what was good. I helped my neighbor. I loved my family.
Yeah.
Just those kind of things make all the difference. And that's what fulfills you.
Exactly.
Because great food and a lot of money, that can only get you so far. It's not the genuine happiness that comes from within.
I agree. So reflect on that today.
Yeah, reflect on that. I'm going to read it one more time before we sign off. Think about your morals and how you treat others in this life. Are you living for the common good?
And that will be on the Instagram story today as well. So
feel free to answer.
answer. And don't forget to write us in your stories. We're going to be on here every Tuesday and Thursday.
And tell your friends. This will be up for 24 hours. So
Yes.
watch it any point in the day.
And buy someone a coffee today.
Yeah, buy someone a coffee.
You never know what kind of morning they're having. All right, guys. Wow,
Spring has
9:30
sprung.
exactly. We're doing good.
We're on it with our time.
Spring has sprung. Okay.
See you guys later. Next time, next Tuesday.